Tell us a bit about what you're currently doing with Amazon FBA.
I always felt that I want to do something for myself. Like I followed the course. In the end, I actually launched my product.
There was a bunch of things that you were worried about on the first day that you launched, but then you trusted the process. The whole point is any risk that you take, it needs to be calculated. You need to do your due diligence, do your homework, crunch your numbers, and then trust the process. All right, I'm here with Mahmoud and we're in Cheeky Monkeys, believe it or not. Our daughters are playing here, but anyway, just a very quick video where Mahmoud joined us a little while back on our program and he's done so well, and now he's part of the actual coaching team and he's helping other students get started with their own Amazon brand. So I just want to ask Mahmoud a few questions. So tell us a bit about what you're currently doing with Amazon FBA in terms of like what's your daily revenue or your monthly revenue, a bit about your story. Just talk to us a little bit about that, please.
Sure. So my name is Mahmoud. I've been here in Dubai for about 6 years now, or 7 years. I've been here since 2016. And I've always been thinking of the whole Amazon business for myself, but I never knew exactly how to go through it. So I actually came over Jamal's ad in October 2022. And I actually clicked on that link, but never looked at it until a few months later. So I should have done that sooner, actually. But basically, I've been working full time until about the end of 2022, and then that's when I actually left my job and I was looking again for some other jobs in Dubai. But I always felt that I want to do something for myself other than a job. I mean, my last job was paying well, but I always thought, there is something more that is to be done, with my life without having to sacrifice my time, like, the whole 9 to 6 day, every day for 5 days a week. So I started with the course, had a conversation initially with Jamal, started with the course, spent about a month or two, going through the modules and stuff, and then brought samples. Like I followed the course. And in the end, I actually launched my product. The first batch, I was really scared it wouldn't work. So I was actually thinking, okay, I only sold one on the first day, and I was actually kind of scared because I had, that whole 10 units per day. So I was like, okay, this has failed miserably, right? But then I actually started selling more and more, with focusing on the PPC. I found that I was actually increasing my sales day by day.
Yeah.
I had actually gotten about 600 units for the first batch, and I thought they were gonna last me like 2 months based on the 10, 10 per day for 30 days. It's gonna be like 300, 2 months. So I was actually shocked when my stock went out like in exactly 3 weeks, or maybe 3 weeks and 2 days. So at that point, I was actually, okay, so what do I do now? I hadn't placed my second order or anything, so I placed my second order. And please note that at this point, I didn't have any kind of profit at all. I was just selling, basically. I wasn't paying Amazon. I paid Amazon the first time only, but after that, I was getting deductions from the sales that I was doing, but I never made any profit. I contacted my supplier, placed my second order, which was on September 12th, 23, if I'm not mistaken. And then it took about 2 months until I got it in my stock back in November. And that's when I again started selling. I was afraid, I didn't know what to expect because basically, I had gone out of stock for a couple of months. My DSR was about 1 million or maybe a little bit less. So I was kind of like, I really had fears. I had to do a lot of stuff, to get this back, like with aggressive PPC, asking some friends, to buy some units just to get this moving, I burned my price for a few units. I was just trying to get back.
Trying to be as aggressive as possible.
Exactly. And it actually started to pick up, not as quickly, but it actually started to
Yeah.
pick up. And like my advice to everyone, when you launch, if you do well in the first week and you start seeing sales, push it. Like increase your PPC, do
Yeah.
as many sales as you can, because it really, that honeymoon period really affects your BSR, and the algorithm like goes mad when it sees that your rank is like really down and you're selling well. Once you close your listing and open it back, it picks up like crazy.
Yeah.
Like you could be at 800,000 BSR and you sell 2 units and you go down to 50. It's exactly like that. Yeah, that's the advice I would give.
Okay, so there were a bunch of things that Mahmoud talked about. He used some technical terms like honeymoon period, and maybe things that you don't quite yet grasp. But I think that the overarching message I got from you was, you were obviously a bit scared about doing this. There was a bunch of things that you were worried about. On the first day that you launched, things were a bit slow and you thought, oh my God, what did I get myself into?
Exactly.
But then you trusted the process. And you were very, very forthcoming in asking questions, trying things out, and you sold out within 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you placed your second order, and now you just placed your third order. Right. So, like, no business is without risk. Obviously, if you want to gain any kind of reward, if you want any kind of financial benefit, then you have to be willing to take on risk. And Mahmoud, man, fair play to you. You had your hesitations, but you took a very calculated risk. The whole point is, any risk that you take, it needs to be calculated. You need to do your due diligence, do your homework, crunch your numbers, and then trust the process and trust that, you know what, you've done all the best that you can do, and then you leave the rest to God, you leave the rest to the process. You basically, it's out of your hands, but it's really important that you do what's within your control. And fair play to you, Mahmoud, that's exactly what you did. And right now, obviously, we're working together a lot more closely, and I'm really excited to have you on board, because you bring a very fresh approach to this whole Amazon game. It's really a joy to have you. So I just want to ask you one final question.
Sure.
Anyone who is considering working with us, anyone who's considering maybe building a side income using Amazon FBA, obviously it's not for everyone, and we want to make that very, very clear. Amazon isn't for everyone. It's only for those who are serious, who can commit the time. But I want to kind of ask you if there's any final pieces of advice or wisdom you want to share.
Well, I mean, the advice I would give is that, to be serious about the program and to know that it's not like get rich quick kind of business. Yeah, it might be quicker, than any regular business, but be prepared to stay in this for like at least 6 months, to 12 months before you start, before you expect any profit, basically.
Let me ask you something. Yesterday, well, in fact, you shared, do you want to pull up your Amazon account? Do you have it on your phone?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it's something that you refresh every second of the day.
But right now I only have one sim.
Yeah, okay. So far today, should I go back 1 second? Let me go back. Which phone is this, man?
It's Motorola.
Motorola?
Edge.
Who the heck has a Motorola?
Me.
Goodness gracious, man.
Motorola, man.
It's all about Samsung I'm not a fan of the iPhone. So yesterday you did about, okay, so you crossed $1,000 in sales yesterday, $1,200. And when did you relaunch?
Relaunched on November 26th.
Okay, cool. So it's so easy. So let me just go back over here. Let me go to last 30 days. Okay, cool. So you relaunched on November 20 something, and things started to slowly pick up. And then now, like this is the whole thing. Your entire graph goes up in a triangle, in an ascending line.
Yeah.
And that is the reality of Amazon, where don't expect your product to go up like a rocket ship, straight up.
Exactly.
Things go through the process, and they slowly pick up, and now things are really picking up for you, and that's great. What was your record daily sales before you stocked out with your first batch?
It was about 55 units.
Okay, so obviously a lot more than what you did yesterday.
Yeah.
And that was outside. Yeah, so obviously now things are slowly picking up. You placed your third order batch recently. Is that because you wanted to ensure you got an order in before Chinese New Year?
Yeah, exactly. Because, like making my calculations, based on the current numbers or the average number, I think I'm gonna run out sometime in January. So I thought, if I'm going to wait, their Chinese New Year actually starts from January 20th until February 15th.
Okay.
So I'm gonna wait like 4 months, or 3 months, without stock. So I just couldn't.
No, man, you know what? You've taken some big, bold decisions for the sake of your business, and I've got to give you mad props because these aren't easy decisions. But you know that, like, one of the things that I see people struggle with is they see some initial success and then they don't give the business the fuel it needs, and the fuel I'm talking about is capital.
Yeah.
Like, a business, in order to keep on growing and thriving, it needs capital. Mm-hmm. So now you're obviously launching, you've placed the order for your third batch. Are you thinking about a second product?
I am. I actually got a sample 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
From the same supplier. I'm still validating the product.
Okay, cool. And you're obviously, you won't be placing an order before Chinese New Year?
Yeah, no.
Okay, so that will be the second product in your portfolio.
Yeah.
What's the plan then for 2024? How many products do you plan on launching?
Plan on having 3 products by 2024. By 2025, I should have at least 3 products
Okay.
in my lineup.
Yeah, so 3 products is your target.
Yeah.
And what's your target kind of for each one? What are you hoping to make in profit-wise? Obviously, it's all about net profit.
Right.
What are you hoping to make in profit, say, by December next year?
By December next year, I'm hoping to at least match my last salary, which wasn't low, but I'm hoping that I would match it or make more.
Well,
make more. So
I think if you stay in stock with your first product that we're talking about, that on its own could match your salary.
I'm talking about the first product, by the way. I'm not considering the other ones because they are not on yet.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying this based on what I'm seeing currently.
Yeah, sure. So the way I like to think about it is, obviously, everyone wants to live comfortably. Everyone wants to have nice things, experience nice things, and I think of my expenses in life in terms of products.
Yeah.
So I think of the school fees. Okay, these 2 products will cover the school fees.
Yeah, exactly.
My housing will be covered by this product.
Yeah.
And it puts you in control of your expenses.
Exactly.
Because you're able to quantify your life and anything that you want to do in terms of products. Mm-hmm. Instead of relying on some employer to increase your salary, that's out of your control. You think, oh cool, by this time next year I want to be making $30,000 in order to comfortably put away savings. So I reverse engineer that into the products I need to launch, and then you can kind of allocate different products to different expenses.
Exactly. And you know what? It's actually possible. I really see it possible. It's just that as you mentioned in one of the videos before, you need to inject a lot of capital if you want this to grow quicker. So for example, I'm selling that much now. I could actually go more aggressive on PPC and sell more, but I don't want to do that because I know that I'll be running out of stock very soon, right? So I'm trying to control the sales velocity until I get more in, and then maybe increase the sales. I don't want to push it now so hard. So.
Yeah, as in you could push it,
yeah.
and if you had the capital to support that, then obviously you would, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
For example, if you have now 5,000 units in stock, for example, I would just go.
Yeah, well, in fact, that's what my brother did. Yeah. I helped out my brother to get started with Amazon. He had about 10K for his business, and what he realized was that he needed to order about 8,000 units. Because of 2 reasons. Number one, the supplier said if you wanted all of these specific modifications. You've got to place a bigger order. And number two, it was a really, as they say in China, it was a hot selling product. It's so cheesy, but they love using. They love using that phrase, hot selling. Sells like fruitcakes. So anyway, he needed about $40 or $45,000. So he said, Jamal, you know what? Can I borrow some money? And then I said, yeah, bro, I'm happy to support you, but let's look at the numbers first. Because obviously I want to make sure that he's not just, going very aggressive on a product that won't shift. I looked at the numbers, I'm like, you know what? Alhamdulillah, it looks pretty solid. So I lent him the money, he ordered it, and true to his word, it's, he needed actually more. He needed more. That's the whole point. Even though he ordered 8,000 units, which was very aggressive, and he borrowed money from me to support that, if he had ordered what he could have, he himself could have afforded by himself, he would have been out of stock in less than 2 weeks. In less than 2 weeks. Okay. All right, one second. All right, guys, we've got to go now, but thank you so much, Mahmoud, man. Honestly, I hope you benefited from this conversation. I know I certainly benefited, but now we've got to entertain these two girls. So everyone, take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.